J-Man. I am Jason, defender of geekdom. My true calling in life was revealed to me the day I had discovered YouTube. I have the power! I became J-Man, the most powerful geek in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret. My friends Stephen, Owen, and Sean. Together, we defend geekdom from the evil forces of social media. J-Man.
Good day, J-Man here in the Phantom Zone, and today is a special episode that we've been continuing on for a few weeks now. It's called the Space Opera Versus. So we're taking all these old space operas, anything that was like inspired by Star Wars. We're taking those movies and we've created a little tournament, and we're trying to find out who the best one is. So you can see we had a list of all of them, and I don't want to show it to you. Oh, here we go. Here, this was the latest. So first we had your Hunter from the Future versus Krull, and your just barely won. It was the most dramatic thing ever on YouTube, so you can go back and check that out. I basically broke down and said your was better. It was pretty pathetic. Okay, and then last week we had Battle Beyond the Stars versus Space Mutiny, and Battle Beyond the Stars won, and nobody was really surprised at that winning. So today we are doing Ice Pirates versus Space Raiders. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to introduce my co-hosts for today, and I'm going to create a poll right now, and which is better, and we're going to do Space Raiders, Ice Pirates. Okay. All right, so that poll is live right now, so you can go on there and vote. And we're going to do space, so we're going to do story, pacing, artistry, characters, and enjoyment. But instead of ranking each of those categories and getting a score out of 10, we're not going to score the movies. We're gonna actually put them against each other. So we'll say story. Which story is better, Ice Pirates or Space Raiders? And that's how we'll go. And if anybody has any feedback or has seen both movies, if you've actually seen both movies and you want to come into the stream and talk live, I will allow that. You just got to let me know and I can message you or something, and we can go from there. Okay. Other show notes, there is nothing going on this weekend for streaming wise here. The next stream that we're doing will be Tuesday of next week. Steve and I are going to talk about Women of Wrestling, and I've been watching NXT, so that's going to be included. And hopefully you can kind of see right there my SmackDown Women's Championship belt, which hopefully you'll be able to see better because I'm going to try to turn the camera around so you can see that as the background on Tuesday. So hopefully you guys can see a more updated version of that. But and then after that, we're going to see what we're going to do, because we've got a couple of I've got a couple of shows that I'm going to be on. I'm going to be on a couple of other people's streams as well. So I'll let you know about all that as we go. Okay, let's get going here. Where are my friggin' banners? Here they are. All right, so let's bring in our first co-host. Hey, Steve.
Hey, J-Man.
We are good to go. How do you like that? So you know what? I'm such an idiot. I had this other camera that I was using for my laptop, and I was like, right, but cameras are universal. They're USBs plus. I have it like on a stand. I'm like, well, you can remove that stand. I'm like, I'll just remove the stand and put it on this computer. Like, duh. And now it's much clearer in the back, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a lot clearer, yeah.
Yeah, it's like way better, right? So
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, ding dong, hello, right? Okay. So, oh, I love that. I'm going to use that all the time now.
Oh man.
Okay, let's bring in our second co-host. Charlie, what's going on, man?
What's happening, guys?
Hey,
I
Charlie.
see your is the man. Oh, I just got a new subscriber just now. Thank you so much. I don't see who it is because I don't have my thing on, but whoever that is, thank you for subscribing.
Awesome.
As soon as he saw Charlie's name, he had to subscribe to
He
this.
subscribed.
That's what it was. It was my commando shirt. That's what
There
it
you
was.
go.
I've gotten 1 or 2 subscribers a day for the past like week or two.
Awesome.
I don't know what I've been doing because I haven't been doing anything different. Oh no, I have started doing the Spawn stuff and Image Comics, and I'm thinking maybe that is because like Marvel and DC are trash, and DC's rebooting its universe again because it's only been 5 minutes. And stuff. Rebirth was like 7 years ago or
Somewhere around there.
Holy
Was it even
crap.
that long?
And they even tried Infinite Frontier to make that like a new starting off point, and then they had Future State, which is like 50% garbage. I read every issue of that, man. All of it. I read all of it, and I've got all of it. And it's like, yeah, so that was brutal. But anyway, so they're rebooting it. But we'll talk about that on a different thing. So the way this is going to work is there's only 3 of us today. Sean texted me there was an emergency. Sean will not be on. But I do have his ratings and his picks for each category. So I will read those out on Sean's behalf. So Sean, I think, should be here for the next one, and he's really upset that he couldn't make it, but it was an emergency, so it is what it is. We hope everything's okay with Sean.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're gonna, I hate saying the typical things that people say. It just irritates me when people say these.
Yeah, no, we don't have to do that.
It's like Sean's one of our good friends. One of our Steve and I've known him. Jesus, it has been
over 20 years.
20
now,
years. I was just gonna say it's been 20. Jesus Christ, that's crazy. I've got a friend who I've known for 40. How old are you in senior kindergarten? Or let's say kindergarten. How old are you in kindergarten? 6 or 5?
Like
five or 6.
Junior year 4, and then senior year 5.
So I've known him for 41 years. We were friends in kindergarten. We're still friends now.
Nice.
And I'm meeting him on Monday. It's like we're still we've been friends before. But Sean is like Steve. You guys are up there 20 years now.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's. So here's what we're gonna do. I lost my what the hell? I lost my official notepad. Hold on a second. Oh, see, this is what happens when you're not paying attention. I was watching too many Bob and Doug McKenzie videos before I came on. So it's like I just like lost. Okay, verses. Here we go. Space opera. Yes, that's what I want. Space opera. There you go. Okay, cool. Okay, and this time I do have my notes here because last time I forgot my notes as well. So I have the notes.
There you
on
go.
Both movies.
There you go.
And I only own Ice Pirates on VHS or DVD, not on Blu-ray, and I don't own Space Raiders. So I watched it off of I think it's on YouTube. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just go through and just talk a bit about each movie, your kind of experience with it. We'll do that for about 15-20 minutes or so, and then we'll get going into the actual verses. Okay. So I guess, Steve, we'll start with you. What's your relationship to Space Raiders and Ice Pirates?
Space Raiders, I heard about when you announced this tournament.
Right.
Didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
Didn't know anything about it. It sounded like one of those jokes where it's like they made a movie with the word space in it, and the second word is whatever. Like they had to get the Space Raiders. That had to be one of them.
Right.
There's, I'm sure, space pirates and space adventurers and
Sure.
who knows what else is out there. So
Space Hunter, Space Mutiny.
Space Mutiny. Like,
I mean, how many are
Space.
Space.
Just
Space
space.
1999. What else is on here? There must be some other ones on here. No, I guess that's it for the space names. But anyways.
Anyhow, so this is my first experience with it. Ice Pirates, I think it was you and Sean came over and you showed me Tron and Ice Pirates as a double bill.
Oh, how awesome are we? Oh my God. But Charlie, I told this to Charlie last time. I'm the heavyweight champion of movie days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he gave me the whole rundown
I
of
gave you
his
the
like
rundown.
movie nights and gaming and all this other stuff
Yeah.
they do,
Yeah,
man. It's
man.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm the
The,
champ. I make tickets and rip the tickets. I'll
Yes.
send you the ticket. You bring the ticket. I'll rip
Yeah.
the ticket, man.
Yeah. No, they were really special, man. Especially at one time when we were in your cousin's condo and you had that movie room and it was like with the recliners and stuff. And we did the 4 apocalypse movies. That was crazy.
My cousin lived in an apartment that like a condo that had a theater. So it had a huge screen surround sound with Blu-ray player. It had a fridge. It had a little mini kitchen, like bar stools, bar tables, and then huge. You know when you go to VIP movie theater and there's like a huge recliners.
Yeah.
They had those in there. So I would do the. Yeah, it was awesome.
Holy crap.
Man.
Yeah, it was
You
something.
just book it. You just I'd just go. I didn't even live there. I would just go, and she didn't even want to do this with us. I just like, I need your movie room. I'm bringing guys over. She's like, yeah, who cares? That was
Yeah,
awesome.
like when she left there, I was like, I'm sad. Can we find someone else in that building who we can be friends
Just any name to drop. That's all
Yeah.
you need. Just any name.
But yeah, so it was Tron and Ice Pirates. This is before Tron Legacy came out. So it was a long time ago. And I remember the next day specifically, because I loved, like, Tron's a really hard act to follow, and it was Tron and then Ice Pirates. And then the next day I remember J-Man sent an email to me and Sean, he's like, Tron's always good, so that's whatever. But man, I really like Ice Pirates, man. It was awesome, I remember that specific, and I always thought it was weird because I heard of Ice Pirates as a kid, and I'm like, Ice Pirates, what the hell is Ice Pirates?
It could not be reached.
Yeah, I feel like could not be reached. It's going to have some things to say during this stream, to be honest with you. Yep. But like, I thought it was pretty good. I didn't revisit it this was around a time when I was trying to not that I'm not doing this anymore, but I was really trying to watch as many movies as possible, just get my film education up.
Right.
So I never revisited Ice Pirates, but it was good to rewatch it. And when I rewatch it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. So it came back to me. It's like riding a bike, right? So.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So Ice Pirates you saw a long time ago. Space Raiders you just recently watched, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Charlie?
Kind of in the same boat. I didn't know anything about Space Raiders till this tournament, and I looked it up and watched it, and I'm going to say this right now. This is a really hard decision for me today. I'm not joking.
I'm not joking either.
There was something about that movie. Now, and I had seen Ice Pirates multiple times. I mean, to me, it's kind of like The Crawl and The Battle Beyond the Stars. Everyone's heard about it. Then it kind of got repopular again with all these like boutique Blu-ray releases, and all these people wanted to start talking about them. And so Ice Pirate, and it's also one of the biggest memes, and it's space herpes. Everyone, even if you've never seen the movie, you know that little picture, and that's where this is from.
Right.
And I love watching this movie, and that's what makes it so hard getting into how we're going to rate this thing. But I watched Space Raiders for the first time, and I got to say I was really taken aback and shocked of how much I loved it. I mean, I say loved it. It's weird,
dude. Okay, yeah. Oh, sorry. Finish your thing out because I'm like,
no, you're good, because if I go any more, we're gonna have to start ranking them.
Right.
That's it.
So same thing. Ice Pirates. I watched 100 times as a kid. I remember that coming out. Me and my buddies, we watched it. We watched it a bunch of times. We know the whole thing. We're like, yeah, it's great and all that. And then I watched Space Raiders. I was like, oh. I'm like, I thought this was going to be a jobber match. I thought this was going to be like Ice Pirates is going to crush.
That's what I expected. Like
I
last
did too.
week. I expected last week, this week.
Right.
Yeah.
So the way I do it is I actually do my space out of 10.
Yeah.
So I did out of 10 for Space Raiders, out of 10 for Ice Pirates, and the one who won by 0.5.
I didn't write mine down, but I was doing it in my head. Like,
Yeah, me too.
what would I do? And I'm telling you, man, if it's not a tie, I would be shocked if I actually didn't write it all down. Like it's within 0.25 for me. And I know we don't do that, but because I was just like things, I'm like, there's a reason this is just striking me. And there's almost like a thing I can't put my finger on, but it hit me right. And I loved it.
So Steve and I talked about this briefly in private, and also I think I don't know if we spoke about it live, because sometimes we talk after the stream's over. Battle Beyond the Stars, ships, music, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, bad guy Billy, thank you so much for dropping in. I think this is the first time I've seen you, so welcome. You're casting your vote for Ice Pirates, but you've never seen Space Raiders. You make sure to find it soon. It's definitely out there to watch.
I watched it on Tubi. You can watch it on Tubi for free.
It is on Tubi. There you go.
It was fantastic rip too. I think it's a Shout Factory rip that was on Tubi, so it was really good quality. Good. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
So I'm watching Space Raiders. First time ever, I was like, oh, this is like not too bad. I'm like, I kind of like this. What the hell's going on here? And I thought, is this going to be yet another Your Crawl situation here? And now I think it is, because spoilers. I already know Sean's answer, and I know my answer. And I'm like,
I knew I couldn't be the only one that this hit like this. I mean, I'm sure there's the ones that are always going to say Ice Pirates, but I think it's like what Bad Guy Billy just said. Ice Pirates, but I've never seen Space Raiders.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you, Bad Guy Billy, don't cast that vote till you watch Space Raiders. I'm serious. You're going to go, oh, wait a minute. It's not
cut and dried.
It is not. It is not. There's even something Space Raiders does better than a movie last week.
Right.
I'll split that right there.
Oh, what was like last week
was Battle Beyond the Stars and Space Mutiny.
Space Mutiny, right?
Yeah,
it's definitely there's something. Space Mutiny.
Well, that's not hard. There's really nothing really hard to be better than Space Mutiny.
Well, Could Not Be Reached is like,
okay, what? That's okay. That's the problem. It's so hard to choose. It's not like I'm going to say you're wrong, yours better. It's just it was so difficult to pick. It really was. And I watched them back to back, which I'm telling you, man, if you can do that with these, you can like really go, okay, I remember, like, there's so much I want to talk about when we start breaking this down. Like it's
I think this is going to be one of the two streams. It's going to be one where whichever one wins, I'm not going to be like, if Space Mutiny had beaten Battle Beyond the Stars, I would have been like, WTF, guys. But this is one where whoever wins, I'm probably not going to be.
I'm not going to be upset either way. I kind of have one that I would love to see win, and then there's the one I know I'm kind of showing my hand there, but there's also the one we kind of think is going to win. Yeah.
But the other thing is that this is going to be one of the ones where I think, talking it out, I may end up changing my vote.
Very possible. Very possible. I agree with that.
So,
okay, Bad Guy Billy's going to hold his vote back until he watches. See, it's been 30 years since you've seen Ice Pirates. So that means you know of the movie, but do you remember the movie? You know, that's kind of what it comes down to. There's John.
Action-Flix, what's going on, dude? Hey, John, how's it going, man?
Yeah.
You fond memories of both? You saw Ice Pirates in theater? That's awesome.
That would have been cool. I would have loved to have seen it in theater.
And John, man, if you've seen both and you want to come in, I'll send you the link, buddy. Let me know. We're doing space. You just tell me which one you like better out of each category. Let me know. We haven't started yet. We'll probably start about 10 minutes. So you got 10 minutes to decide if you want to come on, or you could do play along in the chat. You can vote and also play along in the chat if you want.
Totally.
Story and all that's better, because people play along in the chat all the time. That's totally cool.
Yeah.
Okay. The elephant in the room is the ships used in Space Raiders are the ships from Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the music, I think, is from Battle Beyond the Stars also.
Some of it is, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So John's at work right now.
He's at work. Just do it, John. Just sneak right in.
Yeah. So Steven Charlie and John from Action-Flix, all the links to their channels and Facebook groups and author pages are all in the description of this video, and all my videos I post, whether they're on them or not. That's why they pay me. Wait a minute. No, they don't.
Hey. There's a non-disclosure agreement we all had to do here. Now, come on.
Like, wait a minute. Let me check my phone. TD. No, I haven't gotten anything from any of them. But no, the links. So the links to all their stuff is in the description, as well as other channels and stuff that I like that I want to highlight as well. Okay. Yeah. So how do we address that? So I was talking to Steve about this, and I'm like, see, Steve has just recently watched Battle Beyond and Space Raiders. Now, had I done this stream before Battle Beyond the Stars, he would have seen Space Raiders first.
Yeah.
Now, that is very interesting to think about for a second, because you would have associated those ships with that movie. Now, look, we know you go to Wikipedia and you're like, yeah, this came out before or whatever. Like, I mean, not right. But as a kid or as a generic viewer who doesn't really care, you know, when I was a kid, I wasn't looking up stuff like, you know, unless like I didn't know. Like, I remember when I got They Live and no, Assault on Precinct 13. I was like, oh, this is John Carpenter? I didn't even know. Like, I missed, when I first saw it, I didn't even see the beginning part of it. I missed kind of the beginning. Even a lot of these movies, I would watch whenever. Like, I'd go on late night TV, and we'd have, like, a channel that plays all these weird... Like, Phantasm 2, didn't know what the movie was called. I started with Reggie Bannister holding up the two guns and fusing them.
That's the best way to start that movie. That's perfection.
Yeah. And I'm like,
I love the Phantasm movies. I love them.
I don't know if you saw my pictures on Facebook. I met the Tall Man and Don Coscarelli and all that stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, this movie's the best. So I didn't know what it was. So you got to think, if you didn't see Battle Beyond and you don't know about it, you're not thinking that. And then maybe you see Battle Beyond. It's like people say, oh, Aquaman, you know, Namor is a ripoff of Aquaman, except that Namor predates Aquaman by like 3 years or something. So
right,
like,
something like that.
No. So it's just, you know, Phantasm 2 is my favorite as well. We're not going to argue on that one. I like all of them.
Three's really good too. So don't knock 3.
I'm a fan of 4, man.
I like 4.
They're all good.
They're all good. I saw part 4 with the Tall Man and Don Coscarelli sitting next to me in the theater when they premiered
it. That's even better.
So
that's even better. I did get to watch Fright Night with Amanda Beers though.
That's awesome,
you know,
man.
it's
That's good.
We had her at the show, so we had a viewing. So First time she'd saw it in theater for 35 years.
Wow,
and it was amazing.
Crazy. Wow. Oh, we used to have great ones downtown here in Toronto in the city. We had Tura Santana watch Faster Pussycat Kill with us. This is crazy shit. Like, we would go to these things and be. So I saw Troll 2 with the guys from Troll 2, the father, the son. I got their autographs.
That would have been awesome.
Oh, it was so great back then, and it cost nothing. It was like $10. I got this concept of going to these shows and paying for autographs and photo opportunities, and I'm like, this is all weird to me. I remember when I first went, I was like, I have to. You know, the first time I noticed paying was Steve and I. We went to Fangoria convention, and Jason's mom, Betsy Palmer, was there, and we had to pay $20 for her.
We were outraged.
I was outraged. I'm like, what? This is why do I have to pay for this? I got CJ Graham, like, okay, Amy Steele, CJ Graham, who else was there? All for free. It's just you just walked in and they signed it, right? Kane Hodder was $10, I think.
Yeah.
Because
but
he was also giving you a photo. Like, you were buying his photo for $10 and he signed it.
That was the thing. It was, you would buy the photo, get it. But if you brought something, most of them would sign it for free. Like, here, I'll sign your VHS, I'll sign your DVD.
Yeah.
They didn't care. But if you bought that was actually the whole thing. You are buying a good, they would just sign it that you bought it from me.
Right.
And now I hate the shows that are just nothing but autograph shows. You know, it's just nothing. Like, there's some people I want to meet, and yes, I've paid for autographs, but I also just look at it and go, fuck, man, we're just meeting somebody, I paid like $20 one year for George Barris's autograph. I mean, the dude that made the Batmobile, the Munsters, all that stuff, it was like $10 and I got his picture and I got to meet him and I was like, that was worth it to me. Now it's like even low, like a Power Ranger is almost $30. And I'm like, which one are you? I don't remember which one you're in,
Well, they're not even, and I don't know if you know this, but this shelf right there is every Power Rangers DVD ever. Up till now.
That's only one shelf. Jesus, I feel like there's 100 freaking Power Ranger variations.
They fit all in one shelf. And I met the Green Ranger and I met Rose MacGyver from iZombie.
Those are different. When you're tossing Jason David Frank and all those, I'm talking like the ones from Neo, Storm, Dino, whatever, and you're like, which color are you? I don't know.
and you're paying like tons of money for this. And the thing is that like when I so the Betsy Palmer I did pay. And I got a great picture with her. She's hugging me because my name's Jason. So she's like, Jason. And she was hugging me. So I got a good picture with her. But I remember like being outraged. I met Reggie Bannister, Angus Scribb, Doghouse Crowley, free. John Michael Thor from Rock and Roll Nightmare, free. All the Troll People, free. Who's the director of Monster Squad?
Shane Black.
No.
He wrote it.
Deckard. Fred Deckard.
Fred Deckard. That's
met him and Night of the Creeps, the guy who was the crippled guy, met him for free. Right? Like this is all like Melinda. Brian Yesna.
Yeah.
Melinda Clark. Right?
Yeah.
It's all free. Now Melinda Clark, I did pay for the photo op. Right, that was those professional photo ops. I paid for that. Everything else, like it was free. And then it's like, oh, I want money. I'm like, why do you want money? Why? That's weird. It's like now it's like, oh yeah, $100.
Yeah, $100 to walk in.
Yeah, $100. Like, give me your money. Show me.
Nothing's happened.
Yeah. You pay for the VIP, and you still have to pay for the autographs.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well,
we ranted till 8:00. That was great.
That was awesome. Okay, so the way this is going to work is we'll do Sean first, since he's not here. So I've got his thing.
Makes sense.
So we're gonna do space. So the first thing is story. So everybody in the chat, whatever, story. Which movie do you think had the better stories? Ice Pirates or Space Raiders? So Sean is giving story to Space Raiders. So I'm gonna put that down. So that's Sean. And he says the story of Space Raiders is deep. Their youngest dies in the beginning and is replaced by a kid. The Raiders are irredeemable and they know that. And each die for something greater than themselves by protecting this kid and the better life they can never have. It's probably better than it deserves. So giving the rating. Yeah, Sean makes a lot of good points on that one. Wait, Space Raiders has a story. I love that shit, man. That was a great movie.
George Kennedy. That's awesome.
George Kennedy.
Oh, Fright Night is awesome. Yeah, the real Fright Night. The remake was
the remake wasn't that. I didn't like it.
My buddy was her handler, so he went and met her at the hotel and everything. So he got to sit like next to her. And it was our show, so we were basically the roadies. We set up all the microphones and speakers at the theater. I got done, and my buddy David comes over and taps me on the shoulder, and he goes, I had the best seat in the house. I said, dude, it's all the same theater. We all saw. He goes, no, I got a commentary through the entire movie from Amanda. She'd be like, oh, this part here, something would happen. I mean, he was like the whole time. He goes, I had the best seat. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. You don't get to sit next to him alone anymore. I'm sitting on the other side.
When I saw Evil Dead 1 in the theater, like when they bring them back out. I saw Evil Dead 1. The guy next to me was undressing every time there was a jump scare. And I'm like he removed a piece of clothing. I was like, what's going on here? And then I'm like, okay, I've seen Evil Dead 1,000 times. Then you start thinking, wait a minute, how many jump scares are left? I'm like, there's not that many. And I'm like, how many pieces of clothing does he have? Like shoes came off, sweater came off, shirt came off, shoes came off. I'm like, is this happening right now? I'm like, this is crazy. But anyway, so it didn't go all the way. Phew.
He had that calculated, huh? He was just, I'm going to count how many there was and just skirt that edge. I got boxers. That's it.
We saw, I'll say this real quick too, Texas Chainsaw 1. So I saw that in the theater. So Chainsaw 1, we saw a print, whatever, like, I don't know if it was 35 millimeter print or whatever it was, right? Yeah. Literally at the end when Leatherface is going, and like swinging around, the print burned. We watched it burn on screen.
Holy shit.
And we're like, oh, we're the last people to ever see that print. Like, that's it. We saw. So it was the last reel. I don't know how many reels Texas won.
Right, but still, there's no saving it once it starts. That stuff
right,
goes
it
up.
burned. And I was like, well, we just basically got the whole movie and then it burned. And we watched it burn. You're like, oh, the same part of the movie.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, they lost it. I was like,
you've seen it in movies where they've done it, you know, where like, oh, it burnt. And you're like in the theater going, wait, I smell smoke, dude.
Yeah, right. Oh my god! And I got to see Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D. Oh, that was amazing.
Oh,
that was a great 3D.
That would be a treat.
That was so good. With the eyes popping and everything. Okay. Anyway, so okay, let's go. Well, let's go with. Okay, so Steve, what about you? Story: Space Raiders or Ice Pirates?
I'm giving it to Space Raiders.
Space Raiders. Yeah. Okay.
You know, the story in Space Raiders is fine. Like the kid shows up. You know,
wait, so
he's
said Space Raiders or Pirates?
Space Raiders is I'm talking about.
Okay. That's what you're giving the story to, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
That's who I'm giving the story to. Yeah. The Space Raider, like the kid shows up, you know, he's going to end up on the ship. But it's just like the things that keep happening where like they end up on the space station stuff. I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? And like, but it keeps you engaged, right? Like, and all the way through. And the whole succession of every crew member starting to die, I'm like, holy crap! Where the hell did this come from? This came out of nowhere. And I thought Vince Edwards was going to bite the bullet at the end. Vince Edwards, of course, I liked from like the Devil's Brigade. If you've never seen that war movie, it's awesome. And they actually mentioned Canadians in that thing. There's Canadian people in that movie. They're like, there's an
It's in the Canadian Criminal Code, eh? Yeah. Like there's legal precedent setting cases in law.
Yeah. So, I mean, we are so starved for anything. If you mention Canada in a movie, we love you.
We do.
But yeah, so I thought it was it was a pretty decent story. It wasn't like it wasn't 12 Angry Men or anything.
John, you'll have to message me later.
You'll have to watch it.
It was the most dramatic video on YouTube.
It's epic.
It is what it is, but I thought it was it was decent. Ice Pirates, here's the truth about Ice Pirates. I know what the end goal is, and I know what they're trying to do, but there are several points in that movie where I'm like, wait, where are they going? Who are they talking to? Why are they here? And that happens a lot. That happens when they go and see the dude in the desert. That happens when they go see Bruce Valanche, the head guy. That happens even when they go through the time thing. I'm like, wait, what's happening? I'm like, wasn't there a space herpes going around? Or are they going to go back to? And they did, but I'm like, Ice Pirates it's got an overall plot, but like it's got an overall story, but like how they get there is very all over the place. It's not that it's not entertaining, but I'm like, why are they talking to this guy? Why are they talking to this person? I know what they're trying to do. They're going to try and find Earth, right? Like that's the whole point. Right. But like, why are they talking to this person? What's this person got to do with anything? Like, and that didn't happen once. That happened several times in the movie.
Yeah.
So I I don't dislike the story to Ice Pirates, but Space Raiders to me is obviously the better story.
Okay. All right, I'll go next. I'll leave and I'll let Charlie go last because we kind of know where he's heading, or maybe not. Man, this was tough So in my space rating, I gave them both an equal score for
Mhm.
story. So now I have to decide which one edges out the other one. I actually think Space Raiders is a little bit better. And Stephen, you pretty much said it in your last comment, which is in Space Raiders, I'm like, okay, I get what's happening. Like I'm totally with what's going on. In Ice Pirates, I got a bit lost.
Yeah.
And I don't mean lost. I know what's going on, obviously. But
Right.
but it's just like I'm like, yeah, it's like this is just we need Bruce Valanche to be in this movie, so let's give him this thing.
Yeah.
It's like okay. It seemed like it was more like because it's played for laughs. Like things happen like a skit. Oh, this will be funny because we'll talk
Yeah.
to this guy and have funny shenanigans. And I'm like, okay, but why are we talking to this guy again? It's like it's just weird things happen in Ice Pirates where it's fun, but it's not. It doesn't serve the story. It's just there to be fun.
Yeah.
Now I gave them both equal. I gave them a 1 for both, right? Because look at their generic stories, right? Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, but Space Raiders, I was more interested in what was going on, and yeah, like you said, Steve. As soon as one, I was like, oh, they got, oh, that guy got killed. Oh, that's pretty, dry. And then, oh, he's dead. Oh, she just got killed. The girl's dead. I'm like, wait, what the hell's going on? Like, holy shit, this is Rogue One. They're all gonna bite the dust. I'm like, I can't believe it. So I was really stuck. I don't know. I'm buying Space Raiders, like for sure.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, this is really good. Now I have seen Ice Pirates many times, so but I think the silliness of Ice Pirates hurt it, because I'm like, I'm not invested in this story as much as I am just having fun. Like Army of Darkness, which is my top 10 favorite films. Um, Army of Darkness has silly moments, but you're still always invested in what's going on because when it's serious, you're like, oh shit, it's serious. It's more like Bruce Campbell's a fun character, but everything else is still serious. What's
Right.
going on? Just like
Right.
Fletch, right? Where
Yeah.
Chevy Chase is a fun character, but there's still a mystery going on, and someone is going to get murdered, right? Like so it's like there's still a mystery to what's going on. I think there's too much silliness in that kind of just you're like, okay, this is fun. It is funny. Oh, that's really fun, but it's like this isn't servicing the story. So yeah, I'm giving it to Space Raiders, which is outrageous. But anyways, all right, Charlie.
You got, from what I was prepared to, I thought I was going to be defending Space Raiders this whole episode. Kind of like I thought I was going to be doing that with and then that went somewhere else. But I was sitting there, and especially watching them back to back, I realized, and I know, look, Ice Pirates is a comedy first.
Yeah.
Then it's a space opera / swashbuckler. And I know they cut the budget, they did all this other stuff, and the production company said it needs to be this now. And so they just went with it. And that's fine. It totally works for what it is. And it's just sometimes when I'm watching it, I go, either be swashbuckling or be space.
Yeah.
You guys, it's too disjointed when you flip. The silliness it gets into with the the time travel, sometimes it loses me when I watch it. Right. Now, it's fun as hell. It's hilarious. There's parts of this movie that it's like Blazing Saddles. There's parts of this movie where it wants to be Star Wars, and it's a blast. But when I watch Space Raiders and I go, I'm watching this movie as the kid. I am seeing what's happening around through the kid's eyes. The kid isn't annoying at all. I enjoy that character. Let's see what's going on. Well, Vampire Hookers is coming up soon too, so don't worry. But I liked Space Raiders, so my vote's going to be Space Raiders if you didn't know this.
I already wrote it down.
I figured you did. But I liked the ragtag team that don't give a shit about this kid, even the captain for a little bit. They literally shove him down a hole, fix the ship, which it's silly. There are flaws to this movie. But as far as story goes, I totally enjoy the progression of this story. Hi, Jay. Is that your doppelganger, J-Man? But I I connected with the story better. I like what J-Man has told me before, where he can like put himself into the demographic of what a movie's going for. I felt like I did that in this. I can imagine myself being 8, 9, 10 years old and renting this movie every week until my parents bought it for me. I loved Hawk. I loved all the way the characters worked and the storyline. And I guess we'll get into it in Artistry, so I'll hold my one thought till we get there. But I was more connected to this story. And my other downfall, and it has to be in Story for Ice Pirates, is we found Earth, the end.
Right.
And it's like, where's her dad? What do we do now that we have found it? Are we going to save everyone else and we now have water, or are we just going to stay here? You know, it's like, and it's, we don't even, it's the 7th world. So it's not like it's Earth. Us as the viewers know it's Earth. They just go, it's the 7th world. And it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you guys said. You're doing it for the laughs. You're doing it for the jokes, and they're funny and they're awesome and amazing. And the effects are great.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a blast to watch as exactly what it is. A parody of something. Space Raiders, bit more of a children's adventure with some serious undertones behind it.
Yeah.
So, Space Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was so shocked watching Space Raiders. I know you said that already, but like, I just thought this, like,
I expected Space Mutiny level stuff.
Yeah.
Because I had never seen it and I never really heard about it. Once I saw the cover, I was like, oh, okay, I remember this cover, but where I grew up, our mom and pop video stores didn't get every single movie.
Right.
So if they had like 3 space movies to order, they ordered 1. And it would have been movies like Krull or Battle Beyond the Stars. More than likely it was Star Wars, which is what I grew up watching.
Right.
So these weren't available to me till a lot later. And there's a point in my life, these weren't on my radar. Now it's back on my radar and I'm watching this going, I wish I was 12 again watching this movie.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly it.
Yeah, because I mean, my mom and pop store had 5 movies, $5, 5 days.
Oh, we had that too.
And,
it was just you didn't have the variety.
Right.
Like, I don't even think any one of my video rental stores had every Bond movie that was out at that point. You know what I mean? They would only pick, like, did this one do good in the theaters? We're going to get a copy of that.
Right.
If it didn't, so they'll find it somewhere else. You know, that's how it kind of worked for us.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I had a couple of options around me, all walking distance. So I was able to get a lot of pretty good stuff, and they would let me rent anything. Like I rented Demons, like the Italian one. I rented that with like no. I remember we were so scared because we had the cover with like the one time you see the proper demon, like with all the pus on him. That was the cover. I was like, oh my god, not the one where they're coming out of the shadows.
No, it's the one where it's like ooey gooey. I know the one you're talking about.
We were so scared until we finally rented it. We're like, and then we just loved it. I love that movie still. I showed that to Steve. That was one of the early ones I showed you, right, Steve?
Yeah.
That was one of the first ones I showed you.
Yeah.
And they let me rent anything. Like I rented. I was 11. I saw Friday 13th Part 5 when I was 11. I walked over and rented it, and they're like, "Yeah."
That was a good rental place. They all knew us by name, so it wasn't like did your dad say you could come rent this movie? I'm renting it for Dad. It had to be an action movie before they would believe me on that one.
I didn't know that.
I did not know this though. Good, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Daniel in Transformers. He's also in another movie that it comes out later that is almost this movie again. Do you know which one he was in? He's the kid from Over the Top.
Oh
yes.
He drove a spaceship before he drove a truck.
Oh my god.
And this was before that. So it's kind of cool when you're watching it going, why is this kid so familiar to me?
I thought so too, yeah.
And then he's doing the whole thing with the ship, and I'm like, either I've seen it or something else is going on, and I looked it up and I went, he was in Over the Top. It was exactly his dad was Hawk too. It was just Space Raiders on Earth.
I might have voted for your
over Space Mutiny. Okay, yeah, that one won. Yes,
Yeah.
Yor versus Kroll.
Yeah.
That has happened. It's
Yeah,
fine. Yor he's the man. It's right here.
I after the stream was over, I'm good with. I would still pick Yor today.
The
Still,
internet
I love it.
was still trying to get over that pick, though.
Yeah,
they are. We knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
people have forgiven me. Okay,
This is just hilarious to keep seeing come up.
I know.
I love it.
All right, so for pacing, I didn't get anything wrong from Sean. He just said Ice Pirates. He thought it was better paced.
Okay.
Let me see what his general thoughts were. No, nothing really. Nothing about why the pacing is better on that one. He just picked it. They're both pretty short.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's why I was able to watch them back to back. It's different when they're like 2 hours or more. Hour and a half-ish, I can do them back to back.
Yeah.
They're good. Yeah.
So I'm on the fence on this one because I ranked again. I remember there's only a 0.5 differential on my space rating system between these two movies.
So you got a lot that tied.
Yeah. So again, they're tied on pacing because I didn't really feel bored or anything like that. Right.
Nope.
Right.
So I was trying to think, like, to me, what can they cut out? Like, what can they cut from? I'm almost thinking they can cut from Ice Pirates more things, but there's a lot of cool stuff in Ice Pirates. So maybe I'm gonna hold off on this one. I want to see what you guys say, and then we're gonna see.
We'll see if we sway him or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna be E.G. Marshall. No, I'm gonna be E.G. Marshall from 12 Angry Men, and see what everyone else says, and then logically try to pick something.
This is a weird one because it's like, why can't, I know we're trying to pick one over. It's almost like that we should be able to let them tie once. You know what I mean? It should almost be like this point of it, because I'm with you. I mean, I know you didn't call on me to be next, but I'm going to say that it's tied for me on pacing. Here's why. When I watched them back to back, I almost, when I got done, would have loved to have watched them simultaneously, because I swear it's almost beat for beat. Every time there's action, it's at the same point, then it slows down. Then there's story development, then there's action, then there's a big action sequence, then we have the finale part. I swear to God, these things almost line up as I'm trying to remember each movie. That makes pacing really hard because neither movie I'm bored whatsoever. Right. It's like something happens, like Space Raiders, you think, okay, a kid got stowed away and kidnapped. How much more fun? Okay, now that they're taking care of him. Now there's other bad guys wanting to kidnap him. Now there's, he got taken from the main ship, whatever the place was, the cantina, the Cantina Light. And there's now a space battle. There's all these things that happen in Space Raiders, and in Ice Pirates, it's the same thing. Space battle, we take over these things. Now we're on another planet. We almost get our junk bit off. Now there's this like plot device that's going on. Now we're on another adventure. Now we're Indiana Jones. It's tied as far as pacing. I don't know if there's a better one as far as this particular category of pacing. They're both right there. I would have given them the exact same score. So unless Steven can sway both of us, I don't know.
So here's what we're going to do. Sean has put it to Ice Pirates is better paced.
Okay.
Steve, can you pick one or no?
Oh, yeah, I can.
You can? Right. Okay. So
Perfect.
I'm going to put... okay, awesome. I'm going to put, for right now, I'm going to put you, Charlie, and me. I'm going to put both of us as both. I'll give a point to both. Both movies get a point. Okay. Steve, what are you giving it? What are you giving better pacing to?
Space Raiders.
Space Raiders. So that would mean, okay, I'll let you explain in a second. I'll let you explain and see if you sway Charlie or me. Sean did not give any backup points as to why Ice Pirates to him is paced better.
Right.
Okay. So it's up to you to convince the two of us.
Yeah.
If not, we're going to leave it as is, and we can address it again at the end.
Go back. I'm with you.
And so go ahead, Steve. What was your reasoning?
So Charlie's absolutely right. The movies are almost mirrored, right? It starts off, there's no lull. It gets right into an action scene pretty much. Then stuff happens, and it seems that they have the same lull periods and the same beats. the difference is that what's happening in Ice Pirates, even though it's interesting, you're still held back because you know what the end is going to be.
Right.
You don't know what the end is going to be in Space Raiders. So it doesn't pass. Like, you're sitting there and it's like, yeah, this is fun. You know, they're running from these guys, but you're kind of like, what purpose is this? Like, the cutting thing is the perfect analogy. I could cut pieces of that movie out and you wouldn't notice they were gone. What can I cut out of Space Raiders? The kid shows up on the thing, he's instantly gone. Yeah. He's kidnapped, like, pretty quickly, right? We got to get him back. You got to go on a mission. You got to do this back and forth with the guy who's running the space station. Then there's this epic space battle. It's 82 minutes. It's about 11 minutes shorter, 10 or 11 minutes shorter than Ice Pirates. And there's not a lot of fat to get rid of on that movie. Ice Pirates, as entertaining as it is, we don't need the space herpy. We don't need a lot of this stuff. It's fun, it's entertaining. But if we're talking about pacing, like when they went to Bruce Valanche's thing, I'm like, are we going to be held up again? Because I know what the inevitable, and it's not just because I saw the movie. First time I saw it, I knew what the inevitable punchline was, which was they were going to find some planet. It was Earth. So through the entire thing, I'm sitting there like, this is all good and well, but I could lose this easily, right? And I'm sorry. The love scene was really good, but I didn't need it. I knew what was going to happen, and having it finish in that time stream thing was kind of like, I was getting really impatient a little bit then, because I'm like, I know where this is heading, but like, get there, guys, come on. So to me, I was back and forth on pacing a lot because I was looking at the structure and everything. But if you look at it, what can you lose from Space Raiders? You can't lose anything. The crew dies, that means something, right? Yeah. The kid's left on his own with the captain who's dying away, and he remembers what the captain did. He remembers that thing from the beginning. He's going into the closet. I'm like, where the hell is he going? He pulls out. I'm like, oh shit, he's going to try and revive him. And he kind of does, but he kind of doesn't. Like, it's just, to me, it's better paced. They understood what the story was. They wanted to give you some excitement, and they gave it to you. Ice Pirates is a fun runaway train. And when you get a fun runaway train, when you don't have that focus, the pacing doesn't fall in line perfectly. Whereas Space Raiders, it falls in line a lot better.
Whew.
Steven swayed me. I agree with if you can cut something, then there has to be a clear winner on the pacing. And he's right. I think there's stuff that can be cut from Ice Pirates. Again, it's fine that it's in there.
Yeah.
And it's enjoyable that it's in there. But when we have to go head to head,
yeah,
Space Raiders is just this nice linear straight. We have zero fat to cut. Here's the story. Ice Pirates is, let's do this, now this, now this, now this, now this, now this. And you could probably go.
Oh, we lost Charlie.
Steve swayed me. I'm going to go pacing for Space Raiders.
Yeah, I think he swayed me as well. Jesus Christ.
This wasn't a jobber match, man. After I watched that movie, I went, fuck. This is going to be a tough one. I did. I've been looking forward and dreading this stream all week, man.
Yeah,
because I watched these Monday. So I've been sitting on this since Monday where I'm like, I even just wanted to message you so I could talk, but I'm like, nope, that's like swinging the vote. I can't do that. I'm going to wait.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe it. I know. The second this movie, I was watching this movie, I was like, I like this movie a lot. I thought, my God, no. And it was like Luke in Empire. I was like, no, it's not possible. No.
Search your feelings, J-Man.
I know. And I'm thinking, but it's Ice Pirates, man. Like, what the heck?
You're not wrong. We were all thinking it while we watched the movie going, this is up against Ice Pirates. This should have been a no-brainer. Like, Ice Pirates is like what you were talking about with Kroll. Like this is almost to the point of should it be on this list because it has this higher elevated place in people's memories. That's the key word, in people's memories.
Right.
Put it up against something as you watch it now, and I guarantee you're going to sit there and go, these guys aren't as crazy as we think they are. I think that there's some definite like back and forth. Now, don't get me wrong. Space Raiders isn't going to like run the entire gamut of this vote. Yeah, John knows. I mean,
it's especially not going to win in this next category.
No, it's not, but I will defend the other one enough. Yeah, I will. So,
all right. Well, let's get into the artistry. Sean says Ice Pirates. It has the better artistry. Makes you say anything about the artistry? Not really, but we know why. But not even just because of that. I'll start. Well, you know what, Charlie, you can start. Why don't you start?
I'm sorry. Okay. Well,
you start.
So I'm going to start with the one thing I do want to talk about with Space Raiders. I like their use of the Battle Beyond the Stars ship sequences almost better than Battle Beyond the Stars did. They had it cut perfect. It's so much better than Space Mutinies knocked off Battlestar Galactica, where it's just meow pew pew. They actually cut this to work. That exactly what you said in the beginning was, had you not seen Battle Beyond the Stars, you'd blame that movie for ripping off Space Raiders. And I loved it. Now where the fault comes in is this goddamn sparkler laser guns they use in that movie. I hated that right when it started, and not seeing where laser blasts would hit. And I swear to God, those guns were actually shooting sparklers and would just go off indiscriminately because some guy would be running and sparklers are coming out of his gun pointed at the guy next to him. So it's like, no. Now, ship design of the interiors to show what the Battle Beyond the Stars ships look like outside to inside, believed it. Loved it. I think all that worked out well. I bought all of it. The cantina scene, on the base, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what you want to call it. The spaceport. I loved everything on the inside of that. But Ice Pirates.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah. But Ice Pirates is all original. It's fantastic set dressings. The ships are fantastic looking. The weapons, the guns, they have robots everywhere in this movie, and I love them. They have character to them. The fight sequences are better. It has swashbuckling elements with sci-fi elements, which is where I'm gonna praise it, even though in story-wise it shouldn't make sense, and it doesn't make sense. But like swords and lasers, I don't know, pick one. Star Wars did laser swords. That works. Now you actually have cutlasses up against lasers. But Ice Pirates is going to be the one I vote for because it obviously had more budget, so it could do it, even though their budget was cut from their original. They worked with what they had better. I felt like it was this theatrical set piece they were all in, and I did like it. And I think it's the top pick for artistry. That's me.
I'm gonna give it to Ice Pirates, big time. I think the robots in this are the damn best.
100%.
I would say they're up there. They're not as good as Star Wars, but like they're not bad. Like they look pretty damn cool to me. I like the ships. I like the outfits that everyone wears. They all look cool to me. Like the environments they're in are really neat. There's a good variety of different kinds of people and stuff that look cool. Costumes were wicked. The music was fun. I like the way they handled the aging thing. I thought that was really funny. Where it's like they're getting older and then it's like, it's my son or whatever, right?
That was funny, and I still laugh out loud when that happens. That part still, as much as it doesn't need to be in the movie, it's still funny as hell.
I like the way everything looked. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's like I do think Space Raiders had I made Space Raiders, I would have been happy with it. Like sometimes, like Steve and I made movies and stuff like that too. I don't
Yeah.
know why my fucking phone is blowing up right now. Like, what is happening here? It's just like
People
the
are
thing,
like,
Mark,
really? More
I'm
now
getting-
Space Raiders?
I don't know. It's like
They're
stop
trying to head off the your incident already.
it. Yeah, I
It's
know. Be prepared. Be very prepared. No,
Uh.
yeah. Oh boy, I'm nervous. But
I'm not, man. I grab it and go.
You just
That's
go
all
with
there's
it,
to
yeah.
It's fine.
So, but no, the artistry, I mean, obviously it's better. And we can't, I guess we can ignore that they didn't, the battle beyond the starships. They did take them, so, it is what it is. But
Yeah,
you know what?
but they used them
well.
right. Yeah, they
did
used
use
them right.
well. And I thought so too. I thought the editing on it was better than
Yeah.
Battle Beyond the Stars, because I was like, this feels more like this battle's happening with this ship,
Yeah.
Yes.
which was pretty crazy.
Battle Beyond the Stars had a lot of long shots, like
yeah.
the ship is going across the screen. This one was the ship, boom, I'm
Boom.
fighting.
Yeah.
Ship, here comes the bad guys. Boom, here comes the big Carillion hammerhead
Yeah.
death, Star Destroyer. I don't know what that actual ship
I don't know
was,
what
but
it's
that was
called,
all of them together.
Yeah.
And it Tantive 5 in the front. But it all felt like it was moving, unlike Battle Beyond the Stars was like, and now we do something. That was the only real downside to Battle Beyond the Stars. Fantastic design, but
Yeah.
that's why I say I think this movie uses it better.
Yeah, and I agree. So yeah, for me, Ice Pirates is clearly still better. The robots, the costuming, the look of everybody.
The robots are up there with like Cylons. They're up there
Yeah,
with
man.
like Black Hole and stuff like that.
Shit.
I mean,
I love Black Hole. Yeah.
yeah, but I
that
mean
was too good to put on here. But
and there was so many different variations. It could have easily
Yeah.
been like one type of robot. There's this one's, then there's like the ultimate badasses. Then there's a dude dressed as a robot for some reason as he's hiding, and I loving that,
no, it was.
Oh, John Matuza. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
Sloth.
John Matuza. Yeah, Sloth.
Sloth.
Sloth. Yeah. All right. So Steve, what do you think? I guess what are you saying? Ice Pirates or?
Oh yeah, it's Ice Pirates. It's this entire movie is artistry, right? It's all about the costumes, the sets, the adventuring, the craziness. I love their suits when they're just slaves, and I love that conveyor belt with the jaws and that. It's just ridiculous.
It's so great, man.
I mean, I
It's
love
stupid, but it's fantastic.
I love all that. I love them at the big party. The costumes are very Black Hole, yeah. It's very it's very over the top, and that's what it's meant for, and it suits it perfectly. I like Bruce Valanche's, like, he's ahead, and he's just ahead. Like, I love his entire thing. They go to different places. They're in that palace area. They're in the desert. They're in here. They're in there. They really tried to give you a variety. Space Raider. One thing I did not like about Ice Pirates, and I did not realize this until I watched it again, is the opening feels a lot like a television show. The music cues, if you watch it, I literally think they took that from TV shows. And that really, for a split second, took me out of it. And I'm like, why are they using those music cues? I literally feel like I'm watching a television show right now.
Right.
Yeah, like Knight Rider or one of
like
those.
Knight Rider,
TV
exactly.
shows.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. No,
Um,
I feel that.
Space Raiders, I'm not going to address the elephant room because we've already talked about it. I am going to say I did like the ship design. I really like the alien designs. The two alien characters, I was watching them very closely, and they were both really well done. I like the ships, I like the space station. I liked all of that stuff.
Space station. Why can't I get that word out? That was what I was trying to think of. Damn space station.
And I love Mary Crosby. Yeah. She
Yeah, she looked better than the girl in
and I like even the little bug, and he's got it in the can for quite a bit of movie. I like the little bug stop motion. I like that.
Yeah,
it was great.
So there's a lot to like about Space Raiders, but you're literally putting it against Ice Pirates, which is literally all craziness and flash and flare and that.
Right.
It's not going to win. It's got to be Ice Pirates.
Yeah. The closer combo would have been like if we were comparing this to like yours budget and
Right.
stuff around it. And the one I thought one of you guys were going to bring it up, but the freaking Mad Max sequence in Ice Pirates, and the front of the damn thing is a space herpes skull. You know, giant wheels, and they roll over people. While that probably is part of the things we could cut from the story, I still love every bit of that whole sequence. And, you know, cut out the little thing where he has to have an interlude with the alien to get, you know, her to help him. You know, those are some of the little things they could have got rid of. But I love that sequence in the desert. It's just so asinine, but it works, and I laugh every time.
No, it is awesome. Yeah, I mean, so when I was doing my space on it, obviously Ice Pirates scored higher in Artistry than Space Raiders. So yeah, okay, let's get on to the characters. So Sean gave characters to Space Raiders, and what does he say? He said the actor playing the kid was a plank of wood, but he said the character. He said but he said that the Raiders characters are all the coaches from Bad News Bears. He's like the cool uncle who offers a harmless sip of beer, you know. So that's so.
I like that.
Yeah, he gave the characters to Space Raiders.
Okay.
So let's go, Steve. We can start with you then.
Yeah.
Steve, what are you saying for characters? Which one did you think was better?
Oh God. I'm going to give it to Ice Pirates, and I'll tell you why. It's because I did feel like the kid wasn't annoying, but I do sort of agree with Sean. He was a bit of a plank of wood. Yeah. I liked the crew a lot in Space Raiders. I liked them a lot. But it was kind of like I knew what they were going to do and blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of like, because I knew what they were going to be like, though having the female dislike the kid was kind of a genius move, because you automatically think, well, if anyone's going to feel for the kid, it's the female, because she's into motherly. And she's like, I don't want anything to do with this kid. I'm like, oh, I didn't expect that. So that's a kudo to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like the villainous space station owner and all that, I was kind of like, yeah, you know, Ice Pirates. I love the cheekiness of it. I love Michael D. Roberts and oh my God, I'm blanking on the lead actor's name from Love Boat. Robert Urich.
Robert Urich. Yeah.
I love Robert Urich and Michael D. Roberts walking around. Like I could have just watched them walking around. It's just I was glued to them.
That is kind of actually what you did see.
Yeah.
That's
literally what you saw.
That is what you saw, just them two doing stuff.
You know, I liked, you know, all of the characters they interacted with. Bruce Valanche is you know, he's going to be a douche, but it's just highly enjoyable. John Mutuzak steals the show. He's just this very likable guy. They're not going to kill the priest because they never know. And he immediately uses that. And then he dresses up as a robot. I'm like, who is this man? This is crazy. But it's really fun. Space Raiders, the characters are not really fun, right? And I think that's the point. But if you ask me what I would go for, I would go for fun, right? Robert Urich was one of these really good leading men. He can carry a movie. Space Raiders, they were focusing on Vince Edwards was probably the lead, but then they were focusing on the kid a lot. When he wandered off to go look through the ship, I kind of checked out mentally for a couple minutes just because the kid's performance was engaging. I have to go off who's carrying the movie. Kid's carrying the movie for Space Raiders. Robert Urich is carrying it mostly for Ice Pirates. I'm going to go with Ice Pirates.
Okay. So you got one for Pirates, one for Raiders. Charlie, where are you at? Oh, you're at Raiders. I could tell because you're laughing.
No.
Okay.
I'm giving it to Raiders.
Yeah.
I will never hold a kid accountable for his acting because they're a child, and especially if it's fairly early on in their careers, that falls directly on the director and those around him to get the better thing out of it. Now, this is what I'm going to say. while they probably didn't intend it, the way he acts is as if a child that is on the spectrum where he is drawn to other things. And he kind of plays that. He is a very curious child, and he's doing exactly what he was already. That's the thing. So at the beginning of the movie, he's playing in a warehouse with robots and equipment and everything running around, and he is just having the time of his life. A battle happens. He's not scared at all. He is just, something is happening around me, and I just don't need to be out in the middle of it. And they even pointed out, like, the one guy looks to the kid's dad and is like, oh yeah, he was here. Did he make it home okay? I'm like, so this kid has done this forever. So it's not like this new thing he's developed where he doesn't listen or he wanders off to get into things. So that's a kid thing. I have 3 of them. Trust me, they do that. And it's, so I like the kid on that. But Hawk is what wins it for me with Space Raiders. I love that character. I believe it at the beginning where when he tells the kid, like, I'm not going to kill you, but that doesn't mean I won't put you in the airlock and launch you out to space. Or I'm not going to hurt you, but I will put you in the airlock and launch you out into space. And you're like, I believe him. Yeah. And the whole thing, it's played for a little bit of laugh, but when the kid's like just standing on the bridge when everything's happening, and they're literally like, move him here, move him over here, get the F out of my way, kid. All this stuff, like, they don't care. They could step on the kid at this point.
Right.
But I loved everything else about that crew, and then how that kid just kind of becomes part of the crew more than anything. And then they were willing to lay their lives down for him. Ice Pirates is great. There's a lot of characters. It kind of has the Kroll thing that's going on. Right. There's so many characters. How can this one not win? Well, it's because there are so many. Like, none of them get enough time to really make me like them. John Matuzak is different, but it's because I'm laughing at him. The main guy, like you, I forgot his name. Robert York. He is the swashbuckler. He is Robin Hood. He is Errol Flynn. He is all these characters I'm used to, and I expect him to be like the womanizing guy like this. And everything is just a joke or just a Tuesday for him. He's never even when he's about to get his nuts cut off, he's just like, well, anytime now something should happen and my luck should kick in. And it does. And he doesn't look surprised. He's like, yep, I knew this was going to happen. And this is how the whole movie, like, even when they find the space herpy, the most dangerous thing you could find, you guys go deal with it. I don't, it's just like, I like Hawk. Hawk would have been like, burn everything inside the ship till we find that creature running around here. Just do whatever you got to do. I don't care what it takes. I like that gruffness, that hardened part of Hawk. So the kid and Hawk win Space Raiders for me as far as characters go. And that's controversial, but that's...
Yeah. So give me the Space Raiders, man. I got to tell you, like, Hawk, I thought that guy was awesome. And Charlie doesn't hold kids accountable. I do. The kid is brutal.
Yeah. That's not his fault, though. I mean, if the character's not coming out, that's the director going, this kid's coming off annoying. We need to do something about it.
But I was not annoyed. I was not annoyed.
No.
But I didn't really care too much. However, I started to care because the other crew cared. Like, I didn't care about the kid until they cared about him. Because the kid on his own, I didn't care.
Yeah.
So you can fault whoever you want. Doesn't matter. That's the movie I saw.
No. That may have even been planned. The way you're saying that now is very possible that they win. We want you to fall in love with this kid as everyone else does. Right. That could very well be planned and worked, honestly.
Plus, also, the parents not caring about him also made him more sympathetic because they're like, yeah, well, sorry, we got a business to run. So if the kid's on there, he runs away all the time. Who cares? They're like, well, that's pretty rough. You know what happens with me, and Steve knows this, Charlie, you don't know this. When you have to choose, serious wins me every time. So an amazing movie that looks incredibly awesome, like Ice Pirates, will lose to a serious movie that doesn't look as good, because I prefer serious over comedy, usually in these genres, unless it's The Big Lebowski or Marx Brothers or Fletch or whatever, right?
Like a Mel Brooks movie or
No,
something.
yeah. The Ice Pirates. Oh, that's great. You said that. Ice Pirates is teetering between. Oh, this is Mel Brooks and it's not. And I need you to tell me which one it is. This is
That was my problem. You're
Right.
100% right. Yes.
Yeah. None of the characters to me in Ice Pirates felt like were anything I cared. Like I was like, oh, if that guy dies, okay, well he's dead. Like it's a joke anyway, so I don't care. When they started to kill off the crew in Raiders, it's like, oh god damn, like that guy's dead. I'm like, okay. I was like, yeah, well, people gotta die. And then another one died. When the girl died, I was like, whoa, what the hell here? And then I started thinking, I hope that alien guy doesn't get killed. He was pretty cool. And I was like, shit, he's got smoked. And then I started to say, screw this, everyone's getting smoked. And I was getting pissed off. I was like, we gotta freaking like Hawk, man, get in there, like shoot everybody.
Yeah.
Plus, all of the alien characters were really neat. That lizard guy was really cool. I thought the aliens were better. Like Bruce Valanche, it's like, oh look, Bruce Valanche is this funny character. I'm like, that's not a character. That's Bruce Valanche being a funny character. Funny. It's like that's not a character. Like they didn't give any of them characters. It's like, look, there's Angelica Houston. She's a great actress. I really like her. What is her character? Nothing. She's sick.
What's she doing the entire movie except show up and show cleavage?
Right.
Like,
and Ron Perlman. Oh, he's just there. I'm like, okay, but he didn't do it. Like, usually in these movies, they have like, oh, Ron Perlman will be the super angry, pissed off, tough guy. Oh, and Angelica Houston's going to be like, you know, the angry warrior woman. And like, they're all going to be these archetypes, but none of them were. They were just all there just saying their lines. I was like, you guys didn't really care about the, like, I don't know. To me, this was the kind of the push, like this one.
Yeah, this was the teeter point for one or the other. Yeah,
point where it's like, yeah, the characters are better. I care. Like when those characters died, I really cared. If the Ice Pirates characters had died, I wouldn't have cared.
And I think that brings up a good point. Is this in Space Raiders? The characters die. In Ice Pirates, it's a joke that the characters die. Right. You know, it's like, oh, we're gonna kill everyone, but it's funny. Like the nanny is a skeleton. Right. And it's like, yes, I laugh at that, but whenever I have to compare this to Space Raiders, like you nailed it with the Rogue One analogy. It's like, fuck, this movie's going to end on like they kind of lost but didn't. Right. Space Raider does that. Like they kind of lost. And Hawk's like, kid, I did my job. I got to get you out and lock the door, which is just him. Like, I got to like harden myself again away from the kid, you know, and Ice Pirates made fun of that. And it's not Ice Pirates' fault. They were made to make a parody comedy satire. And that is what it is. It is not a space opera because they're making fun of a space opera. You know, it might as well have been the scary movies of space operas is what Ice Pirates is. Right. You know, I think because, like you said, seriousness kind of won this movie over. We did that last week.
Battle Beyond the Stars won last week. It's qualified, so it's in this.
It'll be up against something else.
It's up against something else. Yeah, so it's in there, Pat. Don't worry, man.
Yeah, but yeah, the fact that this one took itself serious, and I still look at it as Space Raiders is through the eyes of the kid. What you're experiencing, what the kid is going through, you know, even where things he learns, he has to now use, like, I shot rocks. Now I got to shoot ships. And he realizes
that's cool.
These are people. I mean, they were probably more robots because they would have thrown robots in them. But the kid's like, this isn't a rock. This is different. And I understand that. And the fact that I can't do something and Hawk is pushing him like, yeah, you can. Again, go watch Over the Top and just take out all the space elements. And that's it, man. Over the Top. Just, you know, flip the switch. I was just waiting for him to put a hat on the kid and turn it backwards. But this came out before. Stallone, I know what you watched when you did Over the Top. You watched Space Raiders.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't believe. You know, the thing is like, yeah, I just think the characters were so silly, and I thought, okay. And as a kid, I love Ice Pirates because like it's silly, fun adventure.
It's what every kid would love, though. It has dick and fart jokes. It has. It's this adult. It's Nickelodeon type things. Like I'm laughing at this, and I could get in trouble for it. Space Raiders is like there's some funny elements to it. There are some comedy levity to it, but it's also like we're going to kill everyone. You know, but the kid's going to make it home. and it's his own people that are causing all of this.
Right.
You know, that's a lot of you don't realize that the dad cares, but if the dad really cared, his ass would be in one of the ships
Right.
Yeah.
going to get his son. But the company is out and about. If there's one flaw to this, is the first thing Hawk should have done was take that stupid necklace off the kid and went,
Yeah.
well, that's a company necklace. Maybe we should take that off and let him just keep the bug. You know, that would have been a lot better.
All right. Well, oh my gosh, well, I mean, the one movie's already won technically because it's already beaten. But let's do it. Let's
Yeah,
do
we can do
enjoyment is whatever you enjoy. And right now, YouTube is 50-50.
Good. I mean, that means it's just as hard for everyone else as it is for us.
And how many?
Yeah.
I don't know how you see. Oh, there's 8 votes.
That's even better. I mean, if that's 4-4, that's perfect.
That's pretty good. Okay. For enjoyment, Sean gave it to Ice Pirates. And he said Ice Pirates is full of energy and creativity. And he just, that was basically, and he said, like, you know, he's wondering if they dusted off some sort of spec script or something and then tossed some jokes in it or something like that. So Sean was saying he enjoyed it more. Yeah, just, you know, it's a lot of fun and it's all wacky, crazy stuff. And
there's nothing wrong with that. I can see that.
Yeah,
I'm laughing because I'm catching up to everything John's been writing over here in the chat.
He's been going through,
Kid was
I know, kid was a wall. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, enjoyment. This is basically you can throw all logic out the window. Which one did you like more? It doesn't have to. We kind of already have a winner.
Yeah.
But oh god. So
you go first, J-Man. So you're not struggling at the end of this.
Yeah, I'd put Ice Pirates. That I enjoyed it a bit more. So my score was, and I didn't score these very high. I gave
they're not 10 movies. They're not 8 movies. It's not there.
It's not there. I gave Ice Pirates a 6 out of 10, and I gave Space Raiders a 5.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's where I was at. The 0.5 difference is the characters, because I like the characters more. Otherwise, they're all equal. I enjoyed both movies. But the character, I'm sorry.
The other way.
The enjoyment factor of Ice Pirates beat it, but the other characters. So yeah, how did that work? Let me check that again. Story I tied.
Sure, you didn't tie all the way across.
No, artist. Oh no, artist. Sorry, artistry and enjoyment.
Artistry goes to
artistry. Yeah.
But characters went to Raiders.
Yeah.
The thing is that I watched Ice Pirates as a kid. And I was just like, wow, this is so cool. So it's a bit unfair. Space Raiders is unfair because I'm watching it now with my analytical mind, but I also have the ability to put myself in the position of the most perfect viewer, the exact target audience member that they wanted. So it's like Ice Pirates was made for a certain type of person. I become that person.
Yeah.
Space Raiders was made for a certain type of person. I've become that person.
Mm-hmm.
Which one did it better overall? Ice Pirates did it slightly better overall just because of all of the fun, crazy factors, even though realistically you can cut out a lot of the pacing, you can cut out a lot of stuff, and also you can really get rid of, like, you know, the characters weren't really that good. But as a kid, you're just like, yeah he's cool. And you're like, well, and if someone says, well, explain that character to me, Jay. I don't know. I like him. He looks neat. You know, that big guy is he's cool.
That's totally different. Yeah.
Right? It's like, you know, why is this character cool? I don't know, because he looks cool and I like him, right? Like, it's random crap like that. Like Star Wars has that for kids, but Star Wars also has adult stuff where you watch it like, oh, that was very well done. Good acting. This character, this character developed, you know, this kind of crap, right?
Right.
So Ice Pirates doesn't really have that. I would say that if you ask me right now, what would I rather see a sequel to? I'd rather see Space Raiders 2. Because Hawk is still alive, right? Like he's still kind of he's going. So
he made it through the end. Yeah,
he made it, right? So Hawk lives, baby. Let's see what he go. Because Ice Pirates, like, they're gonna land on Earth and there'll just be more wackiness.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's like the story. Ice Pirates actually has no story.
It doesn't, and that's where I think it. Like I said, it ends.
It ends.
Yeah.
That's it. We're here. Ta-da. Bye.
Yeah.
Is her dad alive? Because one side thought he was dead. Oh,
Yeah.
he died. The other one's like, oh no, he made it through there. You have to follow this perfectly. Like, even show me the other enemy ship where it's stuck in time forever. Give me a glimpse of what that is for them over there.
Yeah.
Nope. It's, oh, Earth. And they don't even really say anything except, we made it. Ah, end credits.
Right.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally, so I don't know if, like, I'm a big Marx Brothers fan. I own all their movies. So Marx Brothers movies are not movies. There's no storyline.
Right.
It's literally an excuse for them to have their practiced, vaudevillian acts. Like, they've got them all.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, we've got this one, this one. Well, these all have sort of an opera theme. So these can all work in an opera house. So let's make this one Night at the Opera. And then you have all this wackiness. It's like,
right.
Like, half the times, like, if you just went on YouTube and looked at skits, you wouldn't know, like, Tootsie Frutti skit is from Day at the Races because they're at the races doing it. But, like, if it wasn't at the races, you'd be like, what movie is this? I don't know. Could be anything.
Right.
And that's what this movie, Ice Pirates, is like. Here's all the space opera tropes and the swashbuckling stuff. Throw it in all together and have a lot of fun. Now, to me as a kid, I'm like, well, this is the most brilliant movie of all time.
Absolutely.
Right?
100% agree. Yes.
You'd be like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Like, you're like, this is my I literally remember my boy's like, oh, this is like my favorite movie. It's like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then and even Conan the Destroyer, that was my favorite movie because it's like, well, yeah, it's Conan teaming up with a bunch of awesome characters fighting wizards and big, huge, like, wizards that turn into, like, bear creatures. And there's
bear creatures. There's a huge monster with a horn. There's blood. There's ooey gooey, and I'm allowed to watch it. Damn it! You know, that was it. Destroyer was my first one too.
This is the greatest movie ever made. And then you're like, well, it's a bit cheesy and whatever, but I still love it. I don't care. I'll fight people.
Oh, it's awesome. I love it.
Anyways, and then you watch Conan the Barbarian, you're like, wow. Like, as a kid, I thought Conan the Barbarian was an awesome movie, but it was kind of boring, and I preferred Destroyer.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. It happens. It's how I was. Right? Destroyer was the first one I watched because it was PG-13. I could watch it. Then I was older and I could watch R, and then I went, okay, Conan's kind of badass. It's a lot more gory. It's a lot more bloody, but I still go back and watch Destroyer. I still go back and go, this movie's just freaking fun.
Yeah, I've got the soundtrack. I got the 3 CD soundtrack to Conan. I think it's a 3 CD one. I've got it, or maybe that was the Barbarian. But they kept releasing alternate soundtracks, and I've got all of them. They're awesome. Anyway, so I still enjoy Ice Pirates more for the goofiness of me being able to transform myself into the target audience. So let's go, Steve, and then we'll end with Charlie on that.
Sure.
Space Raiders.
Space Raiders. Woohoo!
It started out Ice Pirates hands down. And then I started to realize this is all this movie has. Right. And it just continued on and on. It's like one of those movies, I hate to say this, where you could probably go to your iPad and look at that for a bit and then look up and go, oh, that's fine. And then go back. Like, you can't really do that with Space Raiders. You have to pay attention because something is happening. Yeah. And it was one of those things where Ice Pirates started out hot. And it started up here, and it slowly went like that when you realize that it's a one-trick pony. Where Space Raiders went like this.
Yes.
Right.
Because it starts out, you're like, oh yeah, the crew will adopt him, blah blah blah, and then it's like, well, they kind of do, but they kind of don't. He's kidnapped. They don't know what to do with him, and then and I think I really appreciate the fact that they killed the crew. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I was really rooted in my seat by that point, being like, is everyone going to die? Like, what the hell's going to happen? Mm-hmm. I love whodunits, and I love movies where I don't know who's going to survive. And those movies will always carry the day for me. That's why I like 12 Angry Men. That's why I like Usual Suspects. That's why I like all that. Where I'm sitting there, if you give me something like that.
Nate and I say it on the show all the time, man. That's our thing. It's how ooey gooey was it? We love it.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so that's the thing. Like with Ice Pirates, I didn't have that childhood thing that you had, J-Man. So I'm watching it as an adult. I'm like, yeah, this is fun. It's cool. But I didn't revisit it for over a decade after you guys showed it to me, and that is what it is. I'll probably watch Space Raiders again before I watch Ice Pirates, so I have to give the enjoyment to Space Raiders.
Fair.
All right, Charlie, Space Raiders.
It is Space Raiders, and it's pretty much, I look at this now going, okay, Ice Pirates, you're 100% right. As a kid, this was the greatest movie ever made. Then guess what? They made it again when I watched Robin Hood Men in Tights. Guess what? Then they made it again when I would watch anything else that would make fun of the property that it is supposed to be about, be it, you know, pirates or space or monsters or action movies or anything like this, you know, Hot Shots Part 2, all these things, you know, I will watch those kind of things and I love them. But with Space Raiders, like you said, I got something I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting everyone to die just about at the end. I wasn't expecting that they even kind of got the bad guy to go, I can't even believe I'm going to say this. Go save the kid. You know, you've made me care about something, Hawk. You know, I just loved all of that. And yes, we said it earlier at the show. We're going to go buy Space Raiders. We're going to add this movie to our collections.
Sure.
And I can't wait to, because I want to watch it again without commercials or anything else, or the best quality. I also want to find out more about it. Like, I'm hopeful we can find something that has like either a commentary or behind the scenes. I would like to know more of the process. Ice Pirates is famous because we know the process. They were supposed to be the next Star Wars. Right. And then they went, yeah, we can't do that. That's insane to go up against them, because I think they probably could have if they had stuck with it. They had the ability, because with what they had for $8 million is a fantastic movie. It looks great. It's just they had to go silly. And I feel like it's really that. It's like, oh, the studio wants us to go silly. Buckle up, because we're going to give them silly. And that's what they did. You know, more of a thumb to the nose to the studio than let's make the best silly space opera. It just happened to work because there was no one else doing it. But enjoyment, I went with you guys. I was glued to Space Raiders. Once I got over the sparkler guns, which was really the only thing that bugged me, I was glued to the movie. I was like, holy shit, what's next? Like, and I'm seeing all these things like, this came out before Home Alone. I'm watching this kid run from burglars. Yeah. You know, they're trying to now kidnap him. He sneaks away from them while they're and then those guys get blown up out of boom, gone. Problem solved. Kids floating out in space. You know, it's just funner. And I enjoyed it. So Space Raiders. Wow. And now John's on my side. I love it.
I can't believe another upset victory in this thing. So basically, I already made the graphic for Ice Pirates in the spot, and I made that graphic, and then I'm watching Space Raiders like, maybe I shouldn't have made that graphic. And then I thought, yeah, but there's no way. Like, this is why I'm watching. I'm like, there's no way Sean or Steve or Charlie, like, nah. They're going with Ice Pirates all the way. I'm going to look like a complete loser if I start. Then I start doing the space.
You second guess yourself way too much, J-Man. Seriously.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, I usually don't do this because now I haven't watched Ice Pirates in a while. Just my memory of how awesome it was. Last time I saw it was when I showed it to Steve. And we talked about it, but I had a buddy, Andy, my friend Andy from grade school. We talk about it all the time. He's like, oh, Ice Pirates. And he'd be like, remember when he looks down her shirt in the beginning and all that? It's like, yeah. And then I'm watching this as an adult. I'm like, man, this is kind of irritating me right now. Like, this is like not really as funny as I thought it was. I don't want to say this, but I'll say it. Even with Goonies, when I rewatched Goonies, when I got and I'm like, oh God, these kids are kind of irritating me right now. To be honest, I think I want to smash half of them in their faces.
That's the adult side of us that has happened. Yeah. That just happens sometimes. These movies that you're like, I love this movie. Yeah. What the hell did I love about this movie when I was a kid? I still loved Ice Pirates. I think we have to ever explain to everyone, no selection was going to make us mad. Right. If we all were like, yeah, Ice Pirates obviously had to win this or win this, we were honest, but it was just, God, this is the ultimate underdog. This is almost more than Your was fun because of the pain we put J-Man through. Yeah. But this one was just a legit, like all of us now are just like, holy shit, this movie was better than it deserved to be. up against a movie that should have dominated every category of this.
Yeah.
And it's just, yes, John, we are all getting old. It does suck.
I know. Yeah. Well, but I mean, I didn't have that with Gremlins, right? Like I rewatched, I was like, wow, this is awesome.
I love it. There's some that just will stand the test of time.
Yeah.
Period.
And I'll
They
be honest
always
with you,
will.
I'll be honest with you, Goonies, I see what you're saying, J-Man. I still enjoy it because the adult parts are still, I love the Fratelli gang. I love like Robert Davi and Joe Paniano. It's like, tell us everything, kid. Everything. In third grade, this happened, I did this, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like Robert Davi.
The funny is still funny. Yeah.
Yeah. He's sitting there having a ball. You obviously see he's like, I like this kid. I like it. You know, like, I don't know. To me, it's still good. But I get what you're saying. The kids yell all the time. But like,
yelling the whole movie. My wife was like, "What are you watching?"
Also have, I get what you're saying. Now I think about this, but like, you have Corey Feldman. I still remember his speech. He's like, "This was my penny, you know, and this is my wish, and it didn't come true. So now I'm taking them all back." I'm like, dude, that's crazy. So
there's some stuff. Yeah, there's still some good stuff in it. I own Goonies, obviously.
There's a reason. Honestly, I'll say this because I brought it up earlier with the kids. We did that whole thing where it's like, let's let the kids watch Goonies. That is such a good. I remember that as a kid, and let's watch it. And my wife and I are looking at each other like, holy shit, that was in this movie, and we watched this at their age, and we're like, I don't know if we should stop this movie or not because we don't know if they should be watching this right now. I'm like, we survived. Let them watch it. Just go.
You never stop the movie. That's a J-Man rule. You never stop a movie. I was watching
when they glue the dick up. My little girl's sitting there, and I'm just like, God damn it! Why are we watching this movie?
Listen, the movie must play to the end. I remember like my nephew was very, very he was like, not want to say meek, but he was, like softer than,
Yeah.
I forgot how old he was. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna watch Gremlins, and they're like, she's like stabbing the crap out of him and throwing him in the blender and all that.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, she's like, wait a minute, are you sure you can show this? Like, why? What's wrong with it? I'm not watching the same thing she does. I'm like, no, it's fine. And then they'll ask me, can I show this to my kid? I'm like, yeah, sure. The only time I've ever said no was my niece was like 9, and they were in the theater for Deadpool Part 1. Oh, in Canada, Charlie, in Canada, we can see rated R movies as kids, as long as there's like anybody there. If there's anybody who's over 14, I think it's like if you're over 14, you're allowed to go. You're allowed to be a chaperone to someone. Yeah. So my 9-year-old niece is watching Deadpool in the theater, and my cousin's emailing me. She's like, "Is Deadpool okay for her?" I thought, "Oh no." I said, "No, I gotta say no." She's like, "Holy shit!" Jason said no. Get us out of here. Like, I never say no. Like, I say yes to everything. They're like, "What do you think my kid can watch?" Like Hellraiser. I'm like, "Wait, how old is he?" It's like, "Oh, he's 12." I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine." Like I say yes to, and I showed the Friday the 13th movies to my. I was babysitting my neighbor's kids, and I showed them Friday the 13th Part 8, and he had nightmares, and they're like, "Oh, he had nightmares." I was like, "Why?" And they're like, "What?" I was like, "It's fun." And I said to him, and then I met him later. He's now like a 30-year-old. He's now like, I think he's 30 years old now or something, or he's like 28 or something. And I met him a couple of years ago. He's like, "Remember when you showed me Texas Chainsaw Massacre?" And I was like 8, or I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." I said, "There's not really any gore in Texas Chainsaw Massacre." He said, "Yeah, but it's very troubling." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine."
It stuck with him, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was like, it's fine. So when I said no to, I was like, I don't think Deadpool's good for 9 years old. She's like, "Holy shit, we gotta get out of this theater right now."
Abort.
Because if Jason said no, because I say yes to everything. They're like, if Jason said no, we have to leave. Well, because there's like pornographic stuff in Deadpool too, right? Like, there's a lot of weird sexual things. I was like, yeah, that's a bit weird. Anyways, but that's so funny. I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's like, can my kid watch Hellraiser too? Yeah, it's I think it's okay.
Well, I say all this, and I'd say my.
Oh, you cut out on us, Charlie. Oh, we're cut.
Yeah, everything's like lagging on me over here.
Yeah, you're back now.
Oh, I was gonna say my youngest is in bed, and I know they're all in there watching Child's Play 2 right now.
Oh,
My
yeah,
wife
Child's
bought
Play.
the collection. We let our daughter watch Child's Play last year, and I realized I had never watched the movie all the way through.
Oh, wow.
I had only ever watched it in pieces. I thought it all happened in the apartment, like he
Oh,
never
wow.
left the apartment. So
Yeah.
that whole segment where he's like in the city,
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I watching? Is this like a director's cut? And my wife looks at me and goes, I don't know. I don't remember this part. And I'm like, what the hell? And I had finally realized that I'd only ever watched Child's Play in parts. You know,
Huh. Oh, he's frozen again.
I remember seeing it as a
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember, yeah, that's so weird. Well, I saw part 2 in the theater. I was just old enough to sneak by, because in Canada the ratings are different.
Yeah.
So we don't have they're way not as strict. So I saw Child's
Right.
Play. I'm 45. I just turned 45, so I don't know how old you are, Charlie. But I saw Child's Play
42.
2.
You're like
42.
3 years older than me. Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw that I saw it in the theater, no problem. Like Child's Play 2, no problem. So they gave me, you know what, oddly enough, they gave me trouble for Time Cop for some
Really?
reason. And I remember my friend's mom had to be like, no, they're fine. And then I got to see Time Cop, but they were questioning us for Time Cop, and she's like, yeah, I'll go in there with them, and then she didn't go in.
I got a question for Con Air.
You got a question for really?
Yeah,
You
it was
know,
21.
it was a PG or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
No,
it was
it's
a question
R.
for Con
It's
Air.
R. For here, it's R, I guess.
I don't think it was R here, man. Nothing is rated R in Canada, man. I haven't seen rated R. Like Freddy versus Jason, there's little kids at Freddy versus Jason. I don't remember. I can't even think of a rated R movie. What was a rated R movie? Can you remember one, Steve?
Deadpool.
No, but my niece was at Deadpool. Oh no. I'm sorry. In Canada, you can see rated R movies if there's a parent with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see a movie with your parent no matter what it is.
That we were the same. If it was R, if your parent was with you, they didn't care. You know, my
Okay.
dad took me to see Con Air. We actually saw Con Air at the drive-in. Dad literally goes, I want to watch it on the largest screen possible. That was the drive-in screen. And we watched Con Air there. I was like, this is fucking amazing. I love this.
Okay.
But yeah, we
Yeah,
used to get all kinds of shit for R. Like, thankfully I grew facial hair fairly early, so I never got questioned after that point.
No, but you reminded me. It's 18. It's 18 plus. We have something called 18 plus.
Okay.
And 18 plus means it doesn't matter what, you have to be 18.
Yeah.
That's kind of our NC-17
That's
down
your
here.
NC-17.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right. So yeah, so we don't really have rated R to be. Our thing is 18 plus, and then there's just 18A or something, and that's adult account. There's 14A. Sorry, 14A. That's like as high as it gets. So like, what was that movie? American Psycho.
Yeah.
American Psycho was 18A, but we had the full sex scene where he's with the prostitutes and he's like looking in the mirror,
doing all the poses.
Yeah. But we had that full scene, and I remember my buddies from Jersey. They didn't have, and they're like, "Oh, what's?" I was like, "Oh no, we had that scene," and they're like, "Oh, we didn't have it." I'm like, "Yeah, we had it."
Yeah, some like overseas, and I guess they also count Canada and stuff for like we get like uncut parts theatrically that we get cut. Yet we're the wild ones, like America. We get everything. We don't blood, guts, and boobies. We don't give a shit. No, man, we're like police everything we got. John knows. Yeah, John got questioned all the time. You need a dictionary for Canadian rating.
Yeah, well, because you can basically just go see any movie you want.
Yeah,
it's not really a thought process. Like when I was a kid, I never thought, "Oh, should I be going?" My mom never said, "Oh, you shouldn't see this movie." It's just like they're like, "Yeah, I'm going to see this movie." Yeah, okay, see ya. Like Freddy's dead. Oh, go see Freddy's Dead. Okay, see ya. Like it's like no, there wasn't a thought process. Like, oh, should you be seeing this?
Different type of growing up right there. Yeah, it was like. Also, I live in the Bible Belt, so if those movies did actually make it to a local theater, you were like, my mom would already know about it, then be like, "You're never gonna watch that movie as long as I live. It's none of this." And my dad's going, "Why?" Just I let him watch Terminator. He's fine. Why did you let him watch Terminator? It's just like it's just blood and guts and boobs. Who cares? He's gonna see it one of these days. And as soon as I was old enough and go into the video store and they didn't card me anymore, I'm renting stacks of movies that just every bloody movie, everything. Me and my buddy Ben wiped them out and watched it all. So I think that might have been worse for me than just seeing it a little bit at a time.
Yeah, like I think like we even for renting, as I said, I would just go rent any movie I wanted.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
and there was no they didn't think, oh, you shouldn't be seeing this. Nobody ever. And I was a little kid. I told you, 11 years old. I rented Friday the 13th Part 5. We watched. I was like, this is the greatest movie ever. And that one's basically like that's a schlock. I love Part 5. It's a schlock movie.
Yeah.
It's total schlock, right? It's the most schlockiest one. It's all about nudity and sex and violence. There's like, it's not even Jason, right? So it's Roy Burns.
Yeah, it's just as much slasher, normal 80s stuff that you can throw into a movie. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's even crazy buying movies in the States. So I was in Michigan in 2009. I bought 12 rounds, and there was a age 16 thing on there that you had to be 16 to buy 12 rounds. I was 32 at the time, and the lady looks at me. She's like, "Are you old enough to buy this movie?" I'm like,
"Oh my god!"
If I check out at Walmart with a movie that's rated R, it asks if I'm over 18.
Yeah,
and they have to come punch in manually if I'm over 18. And a lot of times, the girl checking me out is 18, telling the computer I am old enough to watch this movie. And you also have to be careful. I don't know. I doubt they did it in Canada, but there would be times at Walmart, especially, you would get edited versions of things, music and movies. Like they would literally, if you wanted it to sell in Walmart, you would have to cut certain things and it would be like the Walmart version and you would get edited, or it has to be marked, this is very explicit content. And that was just normal for us growing up. I mean, if anything, those stickers made me buy the stuff even more. Explicit content, I'm in. I will buy all of it. I don't care. John knows. True story. I mean, that's just how what we had to deal with the moms that got pissed off at everything. Video games, movies, music, anything, I don't know.
Oh, my grandfather drove me to buy Mortal Kombat 1. Like he's and Mortal Kombat 2 actually, and I think maybe Part 3, I may have had a car by then, but like he would be driving me to pick stuff up. Or like, okay, it's like nobody. I told you, I don't know if I told you this, Charlie. Let's just put it. Space Raiders has won. We should say that. So I did make an updated.
You fixed the graphic. There we go. J-Man's gonna have to start doing like we do the Super Bowl, where they make two different hats for the winner and they burn the other one that doesn't win.
So there you go. So the next matchup is going to be next week, which is going to be Metal Storm versus Space Hunter, and they're both the 3D ones with long titles. That's how I paired those up.
That works.
And Charlie, you're doing a podcast on Metal Storm this Thursday.
The episode comes out Tuesday. So our episode. So we recorded it a week ago. And it's gonna be fun. This next one we're gonna do. I haven't watched the other movie it's up against yet. What's it?
Space Hunter.
Space Hunter. I haven't watched that yet, and I don't know if I've ever seen it. Wow, this was gonna be. It might be a race to the bottom. I don't know.
So I've never seen Metal Storm, and I've seen Space Hunter 100 times on VHS.
Okay,
man.
This is going to be interesting then.
So this is going to be interesting. And the thing is, Space Hunter, man, like there's a lot of cool characters and stuff in that, and like Michael Ironside and everything. So right.
Yeah.
So Steve,
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Have you seen either of those?
Nope.
So you're watching. So this is interesting. I've seen one, not the other. You've seen the other one, not the other. And Steve hasn't seen either. That's going to be very interesting.
And so the toss up's going to be whether Sean's seen them, or at least recently.
Sean has seen them both. I'm giving that right there is Sean's copy of Metal Storm. I accidentally bought it twice, so I'm just giving him that copy. And I was supposed to give it to him last comic show, and I just forgot.
I'm mad. I got the one I bought has the 2D and the 3D, but I can't watch the 3D version.
Oh.
3D TV or player. Yeah. I said it in the episode, and I'll say it here, and I'm sure I'll say it next week. Oculus needs to get off their ass and make it where we can watch these old school 3D movies through those VR headsets, and just have this thing where like I'm not going to go buy a TV and a player for
no.
1 or 2 movies, but I would love to sit there and watch Metal Storm, Jason 3D. You know, I would watch those on the VR headset just to experience that old school, you know, like Jaws 3D. You know, it's terrible, but I would watch it. To me, it almost is going to hurt Metal Storm and Space Hunter or whatever it's called, because we can't see it the way it was intended.
Yeah.
I think it loses something when you see it in a 2D format.
Yeah, I think it probably does. And it's like, they're made for 3D, especially Friday 13th 3D, because every shot is made to be 3D. That was awesome in the theater with the old school glasses, and we're just like, whoa. The 3D was actually pretty good. It's like when it's got that disco-y music because of the like, and it comes in as like whoosh, and then it comes out. You're like, whoa! You're like, that was awesome. So that was great. All right, Charlie is frozen in, but okay. So that is that. Jaws 3D, yeah, Jaws 3D is awesome. Okay, so we've got your podcast on Tuesday, so everyone knows how to get
that comes out. Yep, you'll be able to listen in, and like I said, it's the Metal Storm, the destruction of Jared Sin. It's an interesting episode to be sure. But then we'll be doing the stream Pet Friday, so it kind of works out great for us.
That's perfect. So that's a week from today. And Steve and I are going to be back on Tuesday, and then Thursday we'll probably do open mic. We talked about the garbage She-Hulk episode 6. Well, Steve didn't watch it, but it was the worst television episode I've seen of any show ever. Easy win.
I jumped in. I clicked on your stream last night for a little bit, and I'm like, damn, this is heated. Like there's people just going nuts about everything.
Yeah, no. Well, She-Hulk was a bit like that was abysmal. Everyone should watch that. I would need to do it's a 30-minute episode. I would need to do a 3-hour commentary on how bad it is. I'd have to pause and I never and I get mad to be funny, and I'm not really mad because I don't care. But this was actually quite awful. Like this was offensively bad, and it's like, no, this is bad. Like Rings of Power is boring, and it's not Lord of the Rings lore. Okay, fine, but like, She-Hulk this was bad. Like it's like Ms. Marvel. Oh, Ms. Marvel is a masterpiece compared to this She-Hulk episode. It's like that boring ass Moon Knight is a masterpiece compared to this. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier Flag Smasher that woman is the only thing that's worse, I suppose. But I don't know. I'd have to rewatch that. Now I can't even that actress. I can't even stand her in other movies now because I didn't mind her before, but now I see her pop up in other movies. Like, oh, not that Flag Smasher girl. I hate her.
Wasn't she the one in Solo?
Nest.
Yeah.
Nest.
The best thing from the Captain America Winter Soldier thing, the Bucky one, Zemo. That's it. I got cool. Zemo. I love Zemo. I'll take him. Now put him in Thunderbolts. God damn it.
Yeah, we got to stop pretending that any of these are going to be any good.
People I already know it's not. I'm just pissed. Bad, right? Like you literally.
Oh, we lost you right on a good moment. It's like you literally. Yeah. What'd you say?
I say if you're going to give me Zemo and then not give and then do Thunderbolts and not put Zemo in Thunderbolts, I
like John Walker. I read the USA. I read when he was Captain America, him and Lamar, and he was Battlestar. And it's like they kill Lamar. I'm like, well, I like that character. That was like,
and I like Wyatt Russell. I mean, I do like that actor. I really do. You know, and he was a smarmy son of a bitch in that show, so it worked for me. Of most of them, I like that one, but they started out with a banger with the WandaVision thing, and then it has just slowly gone.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like Loki all that much. There were some good episodes, but it didn't grab me like everyone else says it did. Winter Soldier did a little bit better, but honestly, if you took Zemo out, I wouldn't have cared about it. I would have been like, man, I don't want to watch this now.
WandaVision and most of Hawkeye was decent. Otherwise,
I forgot about Hawkeye. Hawkeye did have some good stuff. Once what's her face showed up, not Black Widow. No, the other Russian. Her interaction, her interaction with the younger girl
Yeah.
the younger Hawkeye. I loved all that. It worked.
Yeah,
And
King-
Hawkeye just being like, I don't want to do this anymore. Please
Right.
just let me quit. I appreciated that.
Yeah.
You know.
It just sort of screwed the pooch in the last two. But like
Yeah.
Hawkeye was okay. WandaVision was good. The rest is garbage.
Yeah, Hawkeye can take it. I can take it. Yeah, the ending was a bit wonky. Falcon and Winter Soldier, the first two episodes, I was like, this is when it was Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is what we want to see in a show called Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Going around.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That totally.
When it's the two of them fighting, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. And then when friggin' Lamar and John Walker came, I was like, oh yeah, here we go. You know, this is awesome. And then I thought Battlestar might get his shield and stuff. And I was like, they want diversity. It's like, well, you have an original black character, Lamar, from comic books that I own. Falcon and Winter Soldier, out of all of the comic runs they could have picked, they picked the exact ones that I collected. I'm like, this is literally Flag Smasher, Battlestar, freaking John Walker becoming Captain America. This is literally the ones that I had as a kid reading them or whatever.
Yep.
Like, my God. And then I'm like, you F these in the ass. But it's like you have this original character, oh, we want diversity, you got it, and then you killed the guy off in a dumb way. And you're like, well, what was that all about? Oh, John Walker needs to go crazy. Well, you could just make it that the two of them are a bit nutty because they're more, and they're not that nutty. Flag Smasher was killing people. It's like, John Walker's justified. He needs to go in there and take them out. What happened to, no, this person is bad. You're not going to reason with her.
Right.
Let me reason with her. She threatened your sister, Falcon. Oh, well, she wasn't really going to hurt my sister. Does your sister know that? It's like, firstly, she's hurt other people. She's a squatter. She has 0 point. It's like John Walker needs to come in. John Walker should have gone in there and beat the crap out of her. I would have been like, he should have chopped her off with the shield. I would have been like, yeah.
Oh, that would have been amazing if we had.
I'll be honest with you. I can really chart when it started. It was Civil War. It was when that woman was at the elevator bank and she's like, "Oh, Iron Man, my son died in Markovia, and you're responsible." That is literally when, to me, the MCU went.
We have to have a social political message now. Now we have a platform. We have millions of people stronghold it. Yeah. And now we can say things that we want to say and put out there instead of going, it's comic books, it's action heroes, it's all this stuff. And let's make an entertaining story and stop rewriting the effing stories. They're already written. Please just do it the way we know it. The new audiences will follow along, and you can now tell them. And when they go, we want more. Well, if you want more, there is a library of content that you can catch up on to get you right here to us, or we can at least start it enough where you don't feel lost as you watch this and you can still be entertained, which is how it started. Then it went downhill.
Yeah, you got to go with the characters. Once you start messing with character, because Captain America's been around for 80 years, Superman's 80 years, Spider-Man's like from the 60s. So once you start messing with the characters, you've lost everybody. Obviously, you can't take Amazing Spider-Man issue 119 and remake that.
No.
Right? You're like, but I can take what we consider to be Spider-Man, what do we consider to be Captain America? Let's put all that together into one person, which they did in the Captain America movies, at least the first two, and Civil War. Captain America himself is good. And then it's like, oh, now we have to do these big political messages because it's Captain America. Or you make it an action show. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier on paper is awesome. It's like, yeah, the Falcon who is awesome and Winter Soldier who is pretty cool. It's like, oh, they team up and beat the shit out of bad guys. This sounds like pretty awesome to me. And it was that. And then it's like, oh, but now we've got this John Walker guy. Oh, interesting. Oh, we got this other guy. Oh, okay. And then it was like, oh, yeah, well, Commando, yeah. And then it's like, well, you know what? We have to get into this other stuff about politics and everything. It's like, or why? Why do you have to do that?
Why?
Like just have them fight guys. And the thing
it was in the comics too. We can't like say that none of this was in comics, even politics.
Yeah.
It was, but they were able to do it where it was still entertaining and we could understand it and consume it. Even as teenagers, we could still be like, oh, this actually raises a pretty good point that, maybe we should pay attention to these things.
Yeah. Yeah, they lose all points when they lose credibility with characters.
don't,
Flag
you're against
Smasher-
us. Yeah.
Yeah. When Flag Smasher is killing innocent people, blowing up stuff because she wants to be a squatter, it's like, I'm sorry, like I'm not with you on this thing.
No,
Like
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's like, and why are you treating her with kid gloves, as Sean put it? He's like,
Yep.
why is Falcon treating her with kid gloves? Oh, well, she's just, it's like, she's blown up people. Like, what are you talking about? She threatened
She
your
is a
sister.
murderer. Yeah,
Yeah.
she has literally cold-bloodedly killed people.
Right.
If you want to bring her to justice, then fine, bring her to justice, but you might have to get a little dirty to do it.
Yeah.
And they just didn't want to cross that line for whatever reason. And I mean, shit, look at the stuff Bucky had done, even in the MCU.
This is what I'm saying. But how come Bucky got the free pass? It's like Bucky got the get out of jail free card. Oh, he was
Because he was
brainwashed.
going to therapy.
Right.
He was
Oh, there
going
you
to
go.
therapy. Yeah, that's exactly why he got the free pass. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know. Well, anyway, Space
Anyway.
Raiders won.
Yeah.
Space Raiders
How's that
won.
for a shake up
Wow.
again?
Well, I don't even have a. Do I have anything? I don't even have a. Oh God, do I have anything? Oh well, okay. I can play. You know, we all thought Ice Pirates was going to win, so I can play this.
Takes a big man to admit when he's wrong. I am not a big man.
Literally, when we said this was the next one we were doing it, we were all like, Ice Pirates is going to win.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like, tune in for the next 30-minute stream because we're going to talk about how awesome Ice Pirates is and this abysmal movie called Space Raiders. Now it's like we watched it going, damn, we got to work tonight, boy.
Can't believe it. And yet again, it's like 2 hours, and it's like, how did this happen? Like, how did this become 2 hours and Space Raiders won? I mean, no one's good. Like, literally, the credibility of the Phantom Zone is going to be like.
I think it elevates us, man, because we really dig in. Everyone else would have went off of gut feeling.
Right.
Most people would have read the IMDb about Space Raiders and went, I don't want to watch this. Ice Pirates is going to win.
Yeah.
And been done with it. You know,
I think they would have done that. And
Yeah.
and that was the point. I'll say this and we're going to end up. That was the point of this. And that is why I even have the space thing, because it's very easy. It's like, oh, Ice Pirates as a kid. If you would have asked me 1 month ago, I'd be like, oh, Ice Pirates is going to win. I would have said Ice Pirates is going to win this entire tournament. Like, the finals are going to be Ice Pirates and, like, you know, Star Crash or something. Like, it's like, I'd be like, that would be my thinking,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, I don't know. It's like, what happened, right? So, I mean, and you know what? Krull and Ice Pirates probably would have been the final two.
I think
Yeah.
Krull was the one when you even said when we were doing it that you were worried that like this one's going to win it all,
Yeah.
but we kind of have to put it in. It's the first one to get eliminated.
Yeah, man. I've been watching too many of those. I watch all those cooking, like Chef Ramsay ones where they eliminate. It's like, oh, you're going home. Like, no, I thought this person was going to win the whole thing. And like Hell's Kitchen and all those.
Yeah,
I
but
watch
we're also doing Hell's Kitchen where we're like, look at this crap you've served me, Ice Pirates. I'm not going to eat this drivel. Space Raiders, you've gone into some classic culinary delicacy.
It's raw.
It's raw, you donkey. It has space herpes. What's wrong with you?
Oh my God.
John, you got to get off this your thing. Watch
Yeah,
the
stop
stream
it.
and you'll understand why it won.
Go back.
It's
and
serious.
All right, Steve, final word.
Shocker. Didn't see this coming. Thought it'd be Ice Raiders in a landslide. I thought it'd be like last week where we're just like, oh God, why did we have to watch this Space Raiders movie for 82 minutes? Like, thank God we chased it with Ice Pirates, which, took the stink off.
Right.
Didn't happen, man. Didn't happen. Shocker.
Yeah.
Shocker. When I saw Space Raiders, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Steve. Thanks, Charlie, for joining me today. This was a lot of fun. We're going to be all back on Friday. Hopefully, Sean will be able to join us on next Friday as well. That is it for now, guys. All right. Until next time.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.